Waiting all night Sunday afternoon in my car for you to wake, but last night's fun is starting.
Hello, welcome to Coming Out with Cannabis with your hosts, Christina D'Arcangelo Pooler and Wayne Kelly. Today, we're talking with Madicyn Marinaro. Pretty good? All right. But first, CDP.
Hi, Madicyn. Hello, all of our viewers. Hopefully everybody's been having fun with us lately. We've been having fun on all of our recordings. and we've been getting a lot of positive feedback. But today we have Madicyn on so that she can speak with us a little bit about what she's been doing in the industry, both from an advocacy standpoint, things that she's been seeing in the industry, good, bad, and different, because, hey, this is cannabis, right, folks? You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates, I guess, but not edibles.
That's a good analogy.
That's not bad. And I forgot to add your title. Madicyn is a patient advocate, cannabis influencer, and investor. She's also a pot stock consultant, which, of course, we're going to be talking about offline a little bit because she gets paid for that, folks. So we're not going to offer any of that information.
No, I don't get paid. I can't.
Hey,
can't
shh.
Okay. So I'm not a licensed stockbroker, so it's kind of illegal. So I just have to put that out there.
Okay, well, you take donations.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. No, she's great. I can't wait to talk to you offline a little bit about that. And but first, let's get started. I know you have a great journey, a story, and folks, she started here in Pennsylvania, and now she's on the West Coast. So we're going to hear a little bit about that and what you're into. So if you could share a little bit about.
It's amazing to watch Pennsylvania cannabis blow up because I was back there as a patient and I was so stigmatized because of my use. So to watch it flourish into what it is today, I came to California because I was so sick and, pharmaceuticals weren't helping. And the East Coast has such a high, focus on pharmaceuticals.
That's terrible.
And I really feel like that incorporated a lot to their strict enforcement of, cannabis prohibition and kind of anti-drug. Whereas you come out here, there's things like mushrooms and there's ayahuasca, and they're just more open to kind of alternative medicine. And, that's what I needed to find. I was in the hospital 6 months straight. I have had every medicine under the sun. If anything, being in the healthcare system only made me sicker. I was butchered by a doctor, and then after the 6 months, I got out and I was on a pain pump the whole time. So I got out highly addicted to, heavy narcotics like fentanyl, Oxycontin. So that just started a total cycle of just, hitting rock bottom and addiction.
Yeah.
And you were young, Madicyn, right?
Yes.
Would you mind telling the viewers how old you were?
I turned 18 in the hospital.
Oh, my goodness.
During that 6 month long stay. So I went in at 17. I was diagnosed at 16 with Crohn's disease. They said I was going to need a surgery. I went in for what they said was a simple surgery at Doylestown Hospital when I was 17, and then it just all went downhill from there. And, it's taken me 10 long years to really not only learn how to medicate with cannabis, but learn how to medicate naturally, learn how to take my health into my own hands.
Right.
I'm a big advocate in that health is something you have to work for every day, especially if you're chronically ill.
Right.
You can't just take a
Agreed.
pill, swallow it, and think you're going to feel better.
As
Right.
pharma would like us to believe.
Yeah.
It's funny that we're talking about this today because I had this very discussion last night when I was on the TV show that I was shooting, where we were talking about the fact that it's not just enough to take CBD or cannabis for whatever is wrong with you. You have to change your mindset. It's about how you eat. If you exercise regularly, if you practice
Sleep.
meditation for stress reduction, it all kind of goes hand in hand. So if you're going to take, this is my opinion, of course, not medical advice, just my opinion. if you're going to take medical cannabis and CBD and then go out to the bar and drink excessively, eat cheeseburgers and whatever else you're doing, and pounds of ice cream, or gallons, not pounds, and pounds of chocolates, then what do you expect? It's not you're not gonna be successful in your healthcare journey. So people, out there need to think about changing their entire mindset. I mean, I know I was healthy prior to consuming CBD, but now my awareness is so much more, and medical cannabis now, so much more aware that I'm like, oh, I want to do this. I want to make sure I eat this. I want to watch this. I want to exercise. I'm very strict about my regimen for exercising, because with the fibro, you have to exercise or you're down and out. You're outside down. Madicyn,
what are some of the things you do to help that journey?
Exercise is big. I've moved to a pretty plant-based diet, very strict plant-based diet, although I will eat meat because I can't eat a lot of soy, so I do have to substitute some like chicken and stuff in, but overall it's just a very bland diet. I don't drink. I eat a lot. I don't smoke a lot of cannabis. I eat a lot. Cannabis is an incredible anti-inflammatory, and Crohn's very basically is just inflammation of the digestive tract. So consuming and digesting the THC, CBD, and all the other cannabinoids, it really makes a difference. I can tell, if I don't eat a cookie one day, my stomach will feel almost like raw. And
the pain, Crohn's, I actually worked on Remicade. And
you told me. Yeah.
Those Crohn's
Small
studies.
World. Yeah.
And so like I understand the disease very well. And we had Amanda Light on from Ilera, and she also has Crohn's, very young, just like you. She had it, for a very long time through her childhood and now into her adolescent years. And she controls hers with medical cannabis and CBD.
I think one of the other issues with pharmaceuticals is it numbs you. And I think one of the most important things in taking control of your health is understanding where your body aches and how it feels. And I think that's taken away, that kind of patient control is taken away when you're just taking a handful of pharmaceuticals. When I feel, aches and pains, I can rub something on it and that feels better. I'm alerting to all the certain issues that my body is doing. Like if my stomach hurts, I know to eat a little better the next day. So I think I take cues from your body, and that's taken away. Like I said, when you're taking pharmaceuticals.
That's
and
right.
I will never be someone that says this is a cure-all, because everybody is different. But it's a tool people need to have access to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beneficial for your health,
There needs to be a full understanding too, across the board, the entire spectrum, if you will, in healthcare, not only, traditional and cannabis, so that we can educate patients, and then they can understand that, yes, when you do take these pharma products, all of your other sensories are affected, and it's very difficult to concentrate on wellness or exercise, or, like you were saying, you're kind of numb to it, and understanding what you need to do to be successful in your health journey. At least that's my finding.
Plus the drug-drug interactions, folks, you guys who've tuned in to us from episode 1 to today's 14, today's 14, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I think so. We talk about drug-drug interactions, and a lot of patients don't even understand what that means. And so essentially what that means is you're taking different pharmaceutical products, along with, even if you are taking, say, CBD and or cannabis with some pharma products, you have to be careful with those drug-drug interactions, because things can happen to your body. Stuff can deposit in your liver because it's not going to titrate properly out of your body system, and it just sits there. And then, then you're having liver-related issues, pain, anger resonates. When people are very angry, a lot of times it's in your GI tract, and specifically in your liver. It will sit in your liver.
That's interesting.
So
I didn't know that. That is interesting.
I can't take credit for this stuff, because this came from Lily, who's my Persian mom on the West Coast. And she's a homeopath.
Nice.
So,
Thank
I
you, Lily.
learned-
Shout out to Lily.
Yes, we love Lily Kazazi.
Fascinating.
Absolutely.
And Madicyn, she's in San Francisco. So if you ever want to talk with her, I'm happy to do a group text and you could take it offline and chat with Lily because you can ask her all kinds. Yeah, she's fantastic. I mean, we see we see her. She's our homeopathic for Christian, my husband, Rob, the dogs. Like if the dogs, something happens to them, myself.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. So that's how I learned all these great things,
Yeah.
Do you guys, I'm sorry. Bruce, answer the phone. Do you guys hear that phone? Bruce.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Bruce
that.
you know what? Bruce is not doing his job.
I know. I mean, sometimes he's a slacker. What, last week he was mowing, for fuck's sake, or vacuuming during the show. He comes in only when we're doing the show to help moderate and manage, and he can't even manage himself sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
it's just so funny.
Yeah.
Bruce,
Sorry
one
about
of these days, we're going to introduce everyone to Bruce. It's kind of like Tool Time.
I don't know if we will or
with
not.
Tim
Yeah,
Allen.
it's funny.
That guy that was over the fence,
Over
right?
the
The
fence.
neighbor,
Yeah.
whatever his name was.
Are you old enough to
so-and-so.
know that reference?
Oh, I
Yes.
love Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So yes, I used to watch that show.
Good.
Yeah. So,
I wasn't sure. I celebrated my 19th birthday yesterday.
yes,
Madicyn.
Congrats.
So, yeah.
it was a big birthday for Wayne over
Yippee.
there.
Yeah, I got my taxes done.
And we
Fun,
froze.
yeah.
And
That's
we blew
right.
around in the wind. We had tornadoes touch down. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
was
it's
a
Wow,
good day.
really?
great
Oh,
fun.
wow.
It's a good day to have a birthday.
My birthday is March 11th, and when I was back east, it used to almost always fall on a blizzard. The big blizzard of '97 was my or '96
Yes.
was my
Yeah,
birthday.
96. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That was a
funny.
big one. That was
Well,
one.
you'll
my
notice-
birthday was canceled.
My birthday
And you'll
was
notice, Madicyn, today, like we're dressed in really heavy clothes, right?
Yeah.
We're wearing
Yeah.
sweaters, coats, flannel things.
blazer.
It's,
What else
It's 45, 48 degrees here today.
Oh, wow.
The sun is
Bruce
shining.
had the window open earlier.
Yeah,
See,
you
I've
can't.
gotten so spoiled in California. I call 55-degree weather
Cold.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean it's at 55 degrees and people are bundled up with their Uggs, and it's so funny. It's just such a different world out here.
Yeah. See, I'm looking forward to eventually moving someplace other than Pennsylvania.
Well, I
Starting-
think
cold.
with cannabis becoming legalized, I really think everywhere has the potential to become like California, because I think cannabis is a psychoactive. It opens your mind, and I think it's important for people to understand that part of it, because if you're not in touch with yourself and you go into a psychoactive high, one of the reasons people don't like it is because it makes you reflect inwards, and if you don't like
Right.
what you're thinking and you're
Or seeing.
feeling, or seeing, you're going to be reflecting on that, and you're not going to enjoy the high. So it's incredibly important to learn, about the psychoactive properties and how it opens your mind. And I really do think it's going to help all of our population, really
I
calm
agree.
down and come to sort of enlightenment, just where we realize, and I'm slowly seeing it as more and more people are open about their use. I mean, people are becoming a bit more compassionate, a bit more understanding. I mean, I think it's interesting, how
we
it's
need that.
working.
We need that on the East Coast for sure.
Yeah, the
Compassion,
empathy.
understanding. Yeah. Especially right around, here in Philly.
Well, let's talk for a second about our upcoming event we haven't released
sure,
to the
that's
public yet.
Good
Speaking
segue.
of empathy,
Yeah.
right? We're going to be doing an event that's going to be called the City of Sisterly Love,
I
Women
love that.
of Cannabis. Isn't that great? It's
Yeah.
like a good play on, know,
Super, yes.
yeah, for those of you that aren't in Philly, one of the things that people say about our city is the city of brotherly love. So we took a spin on that and we decided to call it City of Sisterly Love. And I'm working on this with Annette Davis, who has her own consulting firm called AD Believes, as well as that she's joined our teams. Bio Partner, she's an executive director now of BD. And then she's on the board for APA, which is our nonprofit, and she's doing some stuff with Cannabis. So what a better partner than her to put this on. So we're inviting people from the West Coast,
she's
colleagues,
hustling.
you know,
She's
and
hustling.
now, and we're putting together, we're adding all of our East Coast constituents. There's going to be politicians there. We're trying to help minorities, the LGBTQ community, all the patients, the veterans, all the patients that have unmet medical needs, that there is a lack of empathy for them. And, you know, especially, no offense, Wayne, I'm lucky to have the COO that I do, but Madicyn, you know how it is in this industry as a woman in cannabis. It's not easy.
No.
And, you know, instead of us fighting and calling ourselves names like the Queen of Cannabis and the Princess of Pot, and all these dumb things, let's, you know, there's only one Queen of Cannabis in my mind, and that's Cheryl Strowman. Okay, that's the only Queen of Cannabis. That's the only person that should be using that title. She deserves it. She's put her time in, and she is respected in our industry. Okay. Anybody else that tries to take that title, I know Bruce is going to put the flag up. Bruce
is giving me the. Okay.
Yeah.
He wants you to get off of that.
But seriously, and that's one of the things that we need to address. You know, in this industry, if we want to be considered leaders in this industry as women, we cannot make little names for ourselves, pet names, because we don't do it in any other industry. Does the banking industry call you, you know, Bonnie Betsy, the beautiful Bolshevik banker? No, you're Bonnie, and you're a banker.
You know, that brings me the whole way. Okay, that kind of brings me back to another thought. You know, we were talking about Philly, the, you know, brotherly love, city of brotherly love, and now, I mean, first of all, who gave that city and those fans that title? It's to me, it's like calling Bruce Springsteen the boss. You know, who's the boss and who gave him the title, right? I mean, anyway, so yeah, I'm with you as far as the titles are concerned, especially in this industry. It's important that you earn it. You know, I mean, instead of claiming titles, we had a conversation. I forget who it was. I think it was Ron. You know, he's on the same boat with us, and you know, all these people that are calling themselves master growers. You know, that's another title. That folks like to put that hat on. So
everyone's an expert.
I'm sorry, Bruce. Yes,
everyone's an expert.
You're right.
You're right, Madicyn. I mean, I see Madicyn. Madicyn's very brave. She will go whatever she believes in, and I give you kudos for this, because you say things that I can't say as a CEO, because my PR team will kick me, you know where.
And I've lost opportunities for what I post on social media, but it's like, you know, I see some of the things happening, and things need to be called out. You know, if anything happens to CBD, I see, you know, the barrier to entry.
See, we lost you.
There we
are.
Sorry.
That's all right.
The barrier to entry in cannabis is so low. You know, anybody can enter and be an entrepreneur. So we're watching, you know, people unemployed come in and be entrepreneurs. I call them wantrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's
very
a good
nice.
one.
That is
like
a good
Willy
one.
Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
Wantrepreneurs. Yes, there's a ton of them.
And some of them have even posted on like LinkedIn and stuff. They're used to selling other drugs, and it's like they come in and they think that selling CBD is going to be their legitimate, you know.
How about the people that send you messages asking you if they can ship you cannabis to your mailbox?
It's
what
so
the hell
crazy.
Is that?
It's just bringing all the crazies out, which is such a shame. And it's because, you know, I don't think people understand, especially investing in pot stocks, the lack of oversight and regulations in this industry. Many people think they're just there. And, you know, people have to understand, we're coming from an illegal industry. The law is trying to catch up with us, you know, and the law is far behind. So the regulation, the things being put on the market, I mean, the law doesn't know how to figure out even how to test some of these products being put out. So people are taking advantage, you know. While cannabis, you have to be super licensed up just to be able to sell anything. In CBD, you can flip a bunch of kilos and, you know, you don't need any licensing. You don't need any kind of oversight. And the labs, you know, there's no SOPs in place. So all labs get different results. And
Yep.
it is really a mess.
And some people aren't even testing Madicyn, right? I mean,
or they're paying to get the lab results they want.
The certificate.
Right.
Yes.
Right. They're buying it.
They're paying to play. I mean, that's what this industry is becoming, unfortunately, pay to play. And we, warned about that, a few years ago, because many of us, instead of wanting legalization, we wanted decriminalization.
Right.
Right.
We didn't want government control. We wanted to grow our own, sell our own, and kind of keep it off mass market. But obviously, as an investor, I want it pushed to as big of market. And also as a patient advocate, I want as many people to have access to this as possible, because I know it can save lives. Safe product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that this morning, I believe, Christina, where Busy mentioned, that he believes all patients should be able to home grow. And I feel the same way.
Right.
I grow my tomatoes and peppers and onions. Why can't I grow my medicine or, cannabis? It's just a plant for crying out.
Do you guys know about New York's take on this whole plant growing at home? So basically, they do not want to allow the patients to be able to grow at home because they feel that it's tax evasion. So that means my tomatoes, my green beans, my potatoes, my corn on the cob that I grow in my own home garden in New York would be tax evasion, because I'm not going to the grocery store to buy.
Or even,
fruit.
Making your coffee at home. What, is Starbucks going to sue you?
Right.
This is nonsense.
Yeah.
This is just an excuse.
Yeah, they want to control it. And it's just a shame to see,
and
this
that's
kind
the
of
problem.
corruption.
That's the problem with the state level stuff, right? I'm thankful that we have 34 states now where it's legal. We have 12 rec
Fully
states
legal
now, but it's still state by state by state by state by state by state. So for us in this industry, we have to understand all 34 states, all 12 rec components, and what they're doing. What are the qualifying conditions? How's this all work? And it's so hard to be able to, it's like my mind is like a spider web of cannabis state level freaking facts.
And it changes.
It does. Ever changing.
Figured out, and then the whole process changes, and people are unlicensed that you thought. It's just really crazy. It really is the Wild West. People say it, and people don't understand, but everyone is really just. And you were talking before, everyone is really just working competitively as opposed to collaboratively.
Right.
Exactly.
It's really just a huge mess where everyone's kind of just charging forward.
Competition.
Yeah, and they're just going forward. No matter what's there, they're going forward.
Oh, yeah, and they get into politics.
Yep.
And I'm not going to go on a bandwagon about that, because Brucey Boy will put the flag up again. But, the politics that are going on, the backdoor, the literal backdoor into organizations trying to purposely sabotage people because they don't have the same view, or they're jealous of your potential return from a monetary.
I'm glad you brought that up, because this is a huge, huge issue in this industry, and especially in California. The tax money, while we have veterans here that are homeless, the tax money from cannabis, the millions of dollars coming in, is going to the enforcement of black market cannabis. And that's not because of cartels or any danger. That's because licensed cannabis businesses here want to get rid of their competition. So they're going after anyone stuck in the long and painful licensing process. And sticking the cops on them. And they're literally ruining these people's businesses. And again, these aren't people that are, cartels or just, black market because they want to be. These are people that have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to get licensed, and things have fallen through, and they're trying to adapt to what happened, and they're trying to pick things back up. And the tax money is being used to target these people and ruin their businesses.
It's shameful.
Yeah,
it really is.
Drives me crazy.
It's all about greed. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah. So I think it's important when you read, news articles and stuff talking about the black market to understand, it's really trying to market you to believe that it's this dangerous kind of entity. And granted, there are some bad apples. I will not say that. But primarily being in this industry on the ground floor, I see so many people trying desperately to obtain licensing the right way.
Right.
And it's just becoming expensive. I mean, someone sold their license here for $500,000. I think it was just their registration. They didn't even have fully licensed. It was just their registration.
Oh my God. I've seen, I mean, I get emails now from investors about buying licenses from people in other states because we're working all over the place, right? And it's like, oh my God, $5 million for like Oklahoma. I mean, come. What are you doing? Like, again, you're trying to champion, not in a good way, off of greed this is nonsense. This is nonsense.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, I did have Alexa remind us to wrap it up, and Alexa stop, because she just popped on again. But real quick before we do, I mentioned to the viewers that you are, into pot stocks, and so let's share just a little bit of information if you could. For those viewers that stayed on till the end, I read an article today where that click rate, usually dismisses before the end of the video. So we want to make sure we provide good information here for our viewers. So real quick, for people who want to get into, pot stocks, quote unquote pot stocks, well, cannabis, penny stocks, established stocks, what would you recommend? What is the online broker to use? Just real quick, maybe those three.
I really love TD Ameritrade because they have a paper money option. So you can literally sign up for free and start trading paper money, so you can learn without risking a dime. That's what I recommend to everybody. That's how I got started. I'm very good at seeing the big picture, and having grown up on welfare and things like that in inner city Philadelphia, I understand what living like that is. And 80% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck. 45% are living way below poverty.
That's right.
So I'm watching tech become this big bubble. Smart homes have failed. Virtual reality has failed. People cannot afford it. We are farmers. We are farmers at the end of the day. Those are our roots. We're not going to be flying cars. We're going to be growing hemp. We're going to be making hemp buildings. We're going to be making hemp biofuel.
That's right.
We're going to be using cannabis medicine. We're going to really go back to our roots here in the next 10, 20 years, I feel. And that's why I feel cannabis is such a great investment. And, everyone's focused on the, day-to-day things that go on with pot stocks, and they're totally over analyzing. Go in for the long term. The way people invested in Amazon and Facebook, years ago, invest in the US based pot stocks now. The US is going to control the market. We take 80% of the world's supply of drugs, while only making up like 5% of the population.
That's true.
So, cannabis is going to be huge, and the US is going to be the dominant market. So yeah, that's my advice. US based pot stocks, they're in no debt. Tech stocks are trillions of dollars in debt. They're like, Facebook is $300 a share. Amazon is $1,600 a share.
Yikes.
You can buy 50-cent pot stocks, penny pot stocks. I mean, it's such an amazing opportunity.
Nice. That's the kind of stuff I wanted to hear. If you would like to, or I would like to, if you would oblige, I would like to have conversation afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some
I'm
other
always
time.
Happy to chat pot stocks.
Great. I appreciate it. I do. I think we should wrap it up. I hope you guys, I hope our viewers enjoyed the show today. Madicyn, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your journey.
Me.
Oh, no problem. Christina, you want to take us out of here?
Sure. Thank you all today, especially Madicyn, for joining us. It's always great talking with you.
It's great.
I love talking. We text, we link in, we email.
Yes, it's so great to be connected with you.
Oh, you're just a pleasure. It's so fantastic. And we'll have you on again.
I
as
love
you're
that.
continuing to grow your career. Yes, we'll do it again.
Cool. Very cool.
All right, everyone.
Good
Be
stuff.
well.
Great, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a green day.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.